Welcome. The theme of today's presentation is Study in the European Union, and it's presented by us, DreamStudiesAbroad.com. And in this presentation, we will look at, well, first we will tell you a little bit more about us, who we are and what we do. And then we will talk more about why you should study in the European Union. We will look at tuition fees and scholarships and popular countries to study in the European Union, how to study in the European Union. And finally, if you have any remaining questions, you are very welcome to ask them to us in the chat, and we will do our very best to answer you there. So let's go. Just double check something here. Yes. All right, let's go. So my name is Johan Asplund, and I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden, but we help students from all over the world to study abroad, basically all over the world. And me, myself, I've studied abroad in 5 different countries, including Spain and Germany within the European Union, but also in the US, Japan and UK. And I worked with study abroad since 2002 and helped thousands of students to study abroad worldwide. I founded DreamStudies, this company, back in 2016. And at DreamStudies, we give you free information about studying abroad, regardless of where you're from and where you want to study. So at this website, DreamStudiesAbroad.com, you can find almost 100 different articles on like how to choose a school abroad, how to fund your studies abroad, how to study within the European Union or other parts of the world. We have a lot of webinars, we have videos about studying abroad, and there are podcasts, different social medias and so forth. There's also a Swedish version for students who can read Swedish. There's lots of free information there. We also have a free study abroad handbook you can download. And we can help you to find suitable schools abroad. We have a school database with thousands of schools abroad, and we are in touch with many schools directly where we can help you to study. And if you're interested in a school that we don't have, we have partners who work with many more schools. So then we can put you in touch with them and they can help you. We also offer scholarships and discounts to students from DreamStudiesAbroad.com. It's not like full scholarships that will cover everything, but they will give you either a good discount or a lower price. So that's a good thing. And we also have our own scholarships where we look a bit closer at that. And our help is always risk-free. You never pay for our help. We give all this information online free of charge. So there's no risk to use our website or do an info request with us. It's all no strings attached. Then, of course, there are tuition fees at most schools abroad, but that will be paid directly to the school if you choose to proceed. So why study in the European Union? Well, the answer depends a bit on your citizenship. If you're a citizen of the European Union yourself, then there's a lot of benefits. Partly it's close to home, right? There's a cheap flights, quick to go home if you want to go home for Christmas or whatever. Culturally, it's not so different from what you're used to. You don't need any visas if you're an EU citizen or even a Schengen citizen, I should add, like if you're from Norway or Switzerland somewhere. And you can work without restrictions. Otherwise, if you study outside the European Union, you will need a work permit to get a job as a student. But if you're a citizen of the European Union, you can just go ahead and work, no registration or anything needed. You get health care on the same conditions as the citizens of the country if you have the EU card. That's another good thing. You get ECTS credits. If you study at a university within Europe, usually you will be awarded ECTS, and those would be very easy to bring home to your home country, to an institution in your country if you want to continue your education at home. and you get the same tuition fee as the citizens of the country you choose to study in. And this means that studying in the European Union will be much cheaper than studying outside the EU in most cases. This is especially if you're a citizen of the EU. If you're not a citizen, things are a bit different. Then you will need a student visa or a residence permit in the European Union country where you'll study. And to get this, you usually need to show proof of about 10,000 euro per year for living costs, plus also that you have the money for the tuition fee. You will need a work permit if you want to work as a student in the EU, and you will also need to show proof of insurance. But you will get the opportunity to study in high-ranking universities in Europe. We have a lot of good universities here. You can get a bachelor's degree in 3 years instead of 4 years, as it usually takes in Asia or in the United States, for example. And you get lower tuition fees than if you study in the English-speaking world. And of course, you get a rich cultural experience. Europe is very diverse, so depending on where you go, you will experience a lot of different things. And it's at the same time, it's only a couple of hours to fly from Northern Europe to Southern Europe. So while you're here, why not go explore a bit? I mentioned the tuition fees, and to follow up on this, you can study almost for free if you study in the local language at public universities. In countries like Norway, Germany, and France, for example, you can study almost for free, regardless if you're an EU citizen or not. But then you have to study in the local language usually, so you would need to learn like French or German up to a C1 level. If you're an EU citizen, you can also study for free in some more countries like Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and those will be almost free, some programs in other countries. And we can help you with preparatory language courses, if, for example, if you want to learn French or German, but these courses will come with a tuition fee, but it can be worth it to get a free university degree afterwards, right? Otherwise, even in programs that have tuition fees, usually at private universities and programs in English at the undergraduate level, tuition fees are still lower in the European Union than they are in the English-speaking world. So usually you would pay maybe 5,000 to 15,000 euro per year. Quite seldom actually it goes over 10,000 euro, but it can depend on whether you're a EU citizen or not, and of course where you study. And scholarships, of course, that's a popular way to fund your studies. There are national scholarships, both for citizens. For example, Swedish citizens, we can get support from something that's called CSN in Sweden. In Norway, they have Lånekassen in Norway. In Finland, Kela, for example, can help give students grants and sometimes loans to study abroad. But there are also national scholarships that foreign students can apply for. So if you want to study in Sweden or another European country, there are scholarships provided by that country that can help you pay for your tuition fees if you are good academically and have the financial need. But of course, it's quite competitive to get these scholarships. There are also school-specific scholarships awarded by the institution where you want to study. But these are usually not as big or as common as they would be in the English-speaking world. And the reason for this is that the tuition fees are lower to begin with, so then we don't have quite the same scholarship culture at the different schools. If you're interested in one of the schools that we at DreamStudies have a partnership with, we can also help you with some more scholarship. We have our own scholarship for language courses worth 1,000 euro per year that you can apply for. We have a study abroad scholarship if you want to go for 1 or 2 semesters, take courses abroad. There's a 1,000 euro scholarship you can apply. We have a degree scholarship of 2,000 euro. And we also have some scholarships from our partner schools, more so outside of the EU, but within the EU we have, for example, a school, Ironhack, that offers crash courses within IT, where you can get a 1,000 euro scholarship if you're a female, because they want more female students. you can get between 5 and 30% discount on selected language schools through DreamStudies. This is discounts we have negotiated with partner schools just for our students. And we can also offer 10% discounts at selected universities in Spain. So what can you study in the European Union? Well, if you want to take just a short course, then you can take a language course. If you're, for example, really interested in France, living in France, maybe studying in France, then we would recommend to take a French language course. That's the best way to really experience the country, maybe continue to study there. And the language course is extremely flexible. You can study like 2 weeks in Paris, or do a semester in Montpellier, a year in Lyon, whatever. And it's the same goes for if you want to study German in Germany, Spanish in Spain, Italian in Italy, and so forth. It's super flexible courses, but they do come with a tuition fee. You can also take study abroad semesters abroad, where you go for 1 or 2 semesters. Maybe you want a gap year after high school, or maybe you're already enrolled in a university back home, but you want to go abroad on your own. And then we can help you, for example, to go to Barcelona to do study abroad semesters in Madrid, in Greece, or other countries. You could take maybe an IT course, a psychology course, a dance course, and a marketing class, just to try different subjects. Or you can choose subjects more targeted to what you study at home. You can also take a full degree, and that of course is a bigger investment in time and money, but still, as we mentioned, it's cheaper in Europe than in many other parts of the world. So usually a bachelor's degree in the European Union is 3 years long, so that can save 1 year of your life, and then after that you can already move on to a master. And I mentioned also the opportunity to take this kind of short-term crash courses. So for example, if you're interested in becoming a web developer or a UX UI designer, something like that, you can take crash courses. We partner with a school called Ironhack they have campuses in many European capitals like Amsterdam, Berlin, Madrid, Barcelona, another capital, but still Paris, so forth. And you take crash courses in English that are 9 weeks long. And after that, you have a big chance of getting a job within this field. So if you want to experience studying abroad, but get out to work quickly, then this can be a good option for you. So let's look at some popular countries to study within the European Union. Germany is one of the most popular countries in Europe for international students. You can learn language at a language school around the country, and after that you can study almost for free at public universities, and your language school can also help you apply to the German universities then. Or you can choose to study in English at one of many private institutions in Germany, like SRH University, CBS Business School, BIM Music School, etc. So here you can study subjects like business, music, IT, creatives, many different subjects available in English. Netherlands offer many programs in English. So if you want to experience, for example, the unique vibe of Amsterdam, a city full of channels, then you can go there and take a university program in English at quite reasonable prices. We have a partner who can help you apply to selected university in the Netherlands. Ireland, of course, also belongs to the English-speaking world, but tuition fees here are lower than in almost all other English-speaking countries. And we have a partner again who can help you apply to all public universities in Ireland and also selected private universities. So if you want to take the chance to experience, for example, the nightlife in Dublin's Temple Bar districts, or rent a car to explore this beautiful green island, then why not take a semester or 2 or a full degree in Ireland? In France, which of course is another very popular destination, we would strongly recommend to start by learning the language, because if you want to stay in France for a longer period of time, it's almost vital, because French people prefer to speak French, and to really get the most out of your stay there, then you should start by learning the language, which would also give you access to many programs almost for free at public universities. We can help you with language schools all over France in cities like, Paris, Nice, Lyon, Bordeaux, Montpellier, etc. So you would need to get C1 level in France to be able to apply for the universities. Otherwise, it is also possible to study in English, but then usually at private institutions. We can help you, for example, to study political science or international relations in Lille at a school called ESPOL, and we have partners again who can help you study business and other subjects in English in Paris and so forth. And Spain, again, another very popular country to both to visit and to study in Europe. And most international students choose the city here on the picture, Barcelona. I mean, it's a very big city by the Mediterranean Sea, and it has almost everything, fantastic architecture and a vivid nightlife, shopping, great food. And again, you can study Spanish language courses. You can take study abroad semesters in English for a quite reasonable price at the high-ranking Autonoma University in Barcelona. I think they're ranked like number 2 or 3 in entire Spain. You can also go on to take, for example, a business degree in English at the EU Business School or another, English-speaking college in Barcelona. But there's many parts of Spain to explore. You can, for example, take a language course at University of Alicante with ECTS credits. You can go to Nebria University in Madrid to take language courses, study abroad semesters in English, or a full degree in Spanish or English. Or why not go down to Costa del Sol, the Sunshine Coast in the south of Spain, for example, study at Marbella International University Center. Italy is another country down there by Mediterranean with fantastic food and climate and scenery, not least. And again, this is another country where we strongly recommend learning the language first. So study Italian in a city like Milan, Florence, Rome, or maybe more in Sicily, for example. We can help you with all of this. And we also have partners who can help you with English-speaking programs in Italy. So it's a really great destination. And the last country down along the Mediterranean, of course, is Greece. And they have a number of English-speaking colleges, for example, City Unity College in Athens, American College of Thessaloniki. So here you can even choose if you want to take the 4-year American bachelor's degree or a 3-year European degree. And these schools and many others offer programs in business, psychology, IT, hospitality, international relations, many such kind of subjects. And living cost in Greece is quite low. So yeah, it's cheap to study in Greece. So that's one good thing. And it's even cheaper actually to study in Eastern Europe. We could help you study, for example, in Latvia, Poland, or Hungary. And these countries are especially popular if you want to study medicine. It's usually very hard to get into medicine programs in Scandinavia and in Western Europe, in the English-speaking world. And there it can also be very, very pricey. But in the East European countries, it's a bit easier to get into these programs. And while they're far from cheap, it's still much more affordable than studying it in the English-speaking world. And also, if you want to be a doctor in, for example, Scandinavia or another EU country, it's usually much easier to get the license in your home country if you have studied within Europe. So many, many students go to these countries in Eastern Europe to study medicine. So how to study in the European Union? Well, we put together a little checklist for you on how to study abroad in general and in the European Union in particular. First of all, I would really recommend that you figure out what you want to achieve. Why do you want to study abroad? Do you just want to go abroad, maybe take a gap year after high school? Well, then maybe it's a good idea just to take a language course or maybe some study abroad semesters, see what you want to do. Maybe take a program that's not too costly or too demanding, give you plenty of time to experience the place where you want to study. But otherwise, maybe you're very targeted, like, oh, I want to become a shoe designer, I want to study in Italy. Then it's more like, okay, find a good school in Italy where you can get accepted, where you can afford the tuition fee, where they have the good reputation, and, really go for that program of your dreams. So figure out what you want to do to be able to make an intelligent decision. Then it's time to find and choose a school abroad. And this is something where we can really come in and help you with this part once you know what and where you want to study. So just fill out an info request form at DreamStudiesAbroad.com, and we will help you with this. Then you should calculate the costs also. Check the school's website, talk to them, and find out what is the tuition fees, what are the estimated living costs, and check your budget. Do you have this money? Otherwise, there's not much point in applying. After that, you apply to the school abroad, and in my experience, often you can get replies quite quickly when you want to study abroad within the European Union. So sometimes only within a couple of weeks after applying. So that way, I would suggest rather do 1 or 2 good applications than just bomb applications to a lot of schools. Because if you don't get accepted at your first choice, then you can move on to the second one. But if you make a good application, you increase your chances of being accepted, because in many countries, they don't only look at your grades, but also maybe an application essay, reference letter, CV, those kind of things. Then it's also time to apply for scholarships. The biggest scholarship giver usually is the school you study at. But as I mentioned, in the European countries, you can also look at national scholarships. And if you come through DreamStudies, you can also apply for our scholarships. Then you can book accommodation through your school. Usually they might have some on-campus residences. Maybe they can help out with shared apartments or host families, so they can just advise you where you can go for off-campus accommodation. If you're not an EU citizen, you will also need to apply for a student visa or residency to study within the European Union. And this you can do after you're accepted to your school. Then you will get the letter, the documentation you need from them. And then get a study abroad insurance. I would say it's mandatory, definitely, if you're not an EU citizen, but we strongly recommend it even if you're an EU citizen, because even if you have the EU card and get healthcare on the same conditions as the student people in the country where you live, it might still not be free in that country. And there's so many things that can happen that are not covered by the EU card, theft and liability and accident and transportation and so forth. Then pack your bags and go. So I want to thank you for listening to this webinar. And if you want individual help to find a good school, just fill out the info request form at DreamStudiesAbroad.com. Then we will also give you our study abroad handbook that help you with the process step by step. And we'll give you an information sheet about studying in the European Union. All right, thanks for listening.
Do you dream of studying abroad, but you're not sure how and where to go? That's why we're here, Dream Studies Abroad, to help you out reaching your goal. So many schools from all around the world are welcoming you with their open doors. Live your dreams and travel the world, a new journey for the brighter future. Let's talk study abroad today. Your dream is not so far away.